Good afternoon and welcome to Aging in Arizona, where we talk about the joys and the challenges of growing older in this great state. And we talk to local experts about what they see happening as people age, as well as the services that are available here that you and your loved ones may not be aware of. I'm your host, Presley Reeder, and I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled, to have both of our guests here in the studio today, Misha Dick, Vice President, and Serena Schluter, Director of Operations with Health Signal Partners. Serena, Misha, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Great to be here.
It's great to have you, and I'm looking forward to the show a lot. Of course, I'm also here with my co-host, Mark Young. And Mark, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing fantastic. Presley, how about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
And how about them parents of yours? I always like to get my weekly update on them.
You certainly do, and I appreciate you asking, and my folks appreciate you asking as well. I think they're really going to enjoy this show. I'm always particularly excited when we're going to have a show about a topic that people are really not aware of or a service that people are not educated about. And I think today we've got exactly that. My parents have no idea about what Health Signal Partners can do for them. And I know there are a lot of seniors out there and other listeners out there who don't know about this amazing service.
There's no doubt. I mean, your parents are healthy. You know, my dad had a little hiccup in the real world where it forced me to be put in a position where, you know, if I didn't have the flexibility with my job that I have, I mean, it turned me into a full-time case manager. And I tell you what, these people, I think, are exactly what the majority of us are going to need when they're in those kind of situations. So I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do for us today.
Great. Thank you, Mark. And thank you again, Misha and Serena, for being here. Let's start ladies first on introducing yourself to our listeners. So, Serena, tell us what you do with Health Signal Partners and a little bit about your background.
Okay, great. So, again, my name is Serena Schluter. I'm the Director of Operations for Health Signal Partners, and I really just operationalize this wonderful program that we have available for seniors and make it available to the population out there that qualify for the program.
Yeah, and I've gotten to know you a little bit, and one of the things, Mark, that we pride ourselves on with Aging in Arizona is bringing on people who are not only skilled and experienced, but also passionate about the services or products that they provide. And Serena, certainly you meet those qualifications. Your passion is wonderful to know and be a part of. So, Misha, introduce yourself, please, to our listeners.
Absolutely, be happy to. So my name is Misha. I am a transplant into healthcare, but now kind of a long-term transplant. I've been in healthcare for about 12 or 13 years, but my background is actually engineering. I'm an old manufacturing shop rat kind of a guy. And was specifically brought into healthcare about 12 or 13 years ago to bring a different dimension to it. So really, if you look across the healthcare continuum today, there's a lot of opportunity to do things differently, maybe to do things better, to offer programs that don't exist but could really augment what is. And really, that's what I do today with Health Signal Partners. We're kind of building a services and a technology product or component that we hope will be of a lot of value to seniors out there.
Yeah, wonderful. I couldn't agree more in the opportunity that's out there to improve some of these systems. I know I've seen your offices and your operation, and there's diagramming and there's process improvement opportunity there, and that's an important skill that you bring to the table for the healthcare system as a whole, and certainly with Health Signal Partners. So tell us a little bit about what the transition to Health Signal Partners, why and what the opportunity was that you saw there, and why start this.
Well, thanks, Presley. I'm glad you're asking that question because Health Signal Partners has a very personal component, I think, to all of us working on it. And you know, I even look across us sitting across from each other at the table today, and we're in that I'm going to say 50 plus or minus 10 bracket, right? And I used to be able to say 40 plus or minus 10, and now it's 50 plus or minus 10.
I'm going to have to interrupt there. Everybody at the table here is 30. That's our rule of thumb.
Oh, I used to say 24 constant. But,
some of us are stuck on it longer than others.
Yes. But here's kind of a reality of it. You know, we have aging parents, at least I do, and I'm very lucky in that I have two parents that are doing quite well and are very healthy. We're talking over breakfast. My dad is 78 and still plays volleyball once a week, which is phenomenal. But the reality of it is really this. We have aging parents, and we want them to do well. And we have phenomenal medical services available to our aging parents. But if you take a step back, it's almost like there are phenomenal medical services. And then you had mentioned earlier, when something happens, we personally get involved and give care, right? But there's a middle layer that you can argue there's a middle layer that is missing, which is really understanding how to aggregate information across multiple care scenarios, how to make services available to individuals, how to provide tools and methods for those of us that are trying to work with our parents to have them be successful. And we really saw this void about 2 years ago, and then we did some more research on it. And if you think about who really gives care to the senior population, the first thing that always comes to mind, it's the clinical community. But the reality is, if you really look at the hours spent taking care and supporting our parents primarily, it's the children and the family and the friends. And there's very little infrastructure, very little support, very few tools for us to do that well. So everybody has to start the research all over again every single time for our parents. That's very taxing, and most of us have very busy lives. So we said we want to put our energy in the most effective way to truly support our parents. And that's how Health Signal Partners was born, is to fill that void.
Well, it's amazing that you notice this void, and when I discuss, my case, and you're recognizing that, the involvement that takes place with the usually the kids, my sister and I had the opportunity to step up and do that. I got to tell you, I've been in the industry a while. We're an anomaly. There's a lot of families that don't have that backup system, so even therefore strengthens the need for what Health Signal Partners is doing.